Well, hello YouTube. Got a bit of a video for you. Of course, this has got to do with the tool room in my garage project. If you've been keeping up with the video series, you'll know what stage I am in the project. And you will know that I am in the process here of building a shelf for the power tools and stuff that are in cases. I was going to incorporate these corner base cabinets with the Lazy Susans into like a wall shelf idea, but these take up way too much floor space and they just don't look right in that corner. I'm not 100% sure. They may end up in the garage itself, or they might end up going for a little ride. But what I'm wanting to do is to make me a shelf in here. There's a nice stud right here, so I'm saying maybe from this stud here to that wall, which is roughly a distance of about 5 feet. So of course the first thing I need to do is take inventory of my scrap wood that I have. Looks like there's a couple of looks like 7-foot chunks of 3/4 there. There's a little sheet of what looks to be 5/8 1/2 inch there, I think. And over here there is looks like a possible couple chunks there of 5/8, and there's a couple chunks here of sanded pine, as well as the old desktop from the office build there, the changeover. So I'm going to take inventory of what I have for material, get set up, and we'll get at her. Well guys, I've put in a measurement line on the wall here, all the way across. This will pretty much be the space where I want the cabinet to be. If I were to put doors on this cabinet, there may be an interference issue between the light fixture that'll be there. But right now that's fine. I'm not going to put doors on it because of the tools that are in here are going to be slightly bigger than the cabinet that it is. So it's going to be more of a shelf than a cupboard or a cabinet. So basically what I'm going to do is bolt those black brackets on the walls. That'll be what holds the cupboard to the wall. And once those are on the wall, we can start throwing measurements for the wood. Okay guys, so I have my material laid out here. I've got my 2 vertical pieces, my 2 long, what do you want to call it, horizontal pieces, and then I'm not 100% sure if this will make it in there or not because it's a little thick. It's 3/4 just like the rest of the shelving, but one of the shelves. Basically I'll have a 2-shelf system instead of a 3-shelf because I have to watch that plug-in, but that's no biggie. Maybe I'll build a base cabinet or something underneath of it to make up the difference. But I've got the saw set here at 14, so she is all ready to go. And pretty much I'm going to throw you on the old tripod here, get a few shots of me running the material through the saw. as you've seen there, just ran the material through the saw. Got everything all cut down. Of course, these are still too long. They're just the right width now. I got to throw me some measurements, get out my circular saw now, and cut this material to the appropriate length. But so far she's going fairly well. Just doing some thinking in my head as I go, some plannings along, and you know, kind of ending up hopefully where I want to be. So I'm going to cut those boards to short to the appropriate length, and then we'll start the assembly. Well guys, got all the wood and stuff cut to length, of course. I got her laid out here on my handy dandy work surface. Pretty much going to start assembling the basic box of the cabinet or shelf, or whatever you want to call her. And once she's assembled, then I can take my measurements for my shelf. I have an idea of the length of her, but I just don't want to cut her too short because I have one shot at this deal. As of course, for support in the shelf, I'm going to have to cut a couple of strips and that, but you know, she's coming along fairly well right now. Just have to fire up the handy dandy Porter cable air compressor and get my little nailer, and away she goes. Okay guys, so the wood's all laid out here. Going to put me a bead of adhesive here along this edge, and then pretty much stand the board up and throw some nails in her. Now, of course, you don't want overkill, because, you know, too much can be too much. And if it squirts out the edge, you can, for my application anyway, give her a cleanup. So, of course, my air compressor is now full of air. My nailer's all ready to go. We line up the boards together, fitting the edges, making sure the edges are flush. And then we'll run some nails in her. Pretty much just like that. So I'll get set up for the next one and we'll take it from there. Well guys, here we go. Of course I got busy working, not filming. Pretty much got the shelf all nailed together just like I showed you there with that first side. And then what I did is I put strips here at the back, and that's what's going to be screwing to the wall. So basically that's what's going to be holding the shelf up, with of course the help of the black brackets, which will be holding the majority of the weight. Then what I did is I flipped her on its back, of course, and it didn't fall apart, so that's always a good thing. And now I'm working on the shelf itself. So what I've done is I've cut more strips for added support. These will be nailed into the side of the cabinet here, along with you know, of course, them too. But just about to throw some glue on her and then throw some nails in her, and then pretty much start the whole putting her inside the cabinet here and seeing how she works. So of course I'll get at her again, and probably next time you see her she will be a completely assembled project. Well guys, here we go. She is completed, finished project. I am probably gonna still end up putting a brace here in the center. Seems to be a little bit flexy there, especially over a 6-foot span. It might take a bit of a bow I'm just waiting to see where that black bracket lines up with. And what I'm going to do is put the brace so it transfers everything into that bracket, so that way she doesn't take a bow. So of course, let's drag her on in and put her on up there, and we'll see if it fits. Well guys, there we go. We have her in place. Of course, she's not secured fully down yet. I did run a couple screws into the studs to keep it from falling out on me. I got to throw a row of screws up at the top there. And then of course, you know, bolt this all the way through there to make it fully secure. It looks like what I'm probably going to do is put a divider in here, like I had said before, just to keep this shelf from bowing. My heavier tools I won't put on the top shelf, they'll go on the bottom shelf, well, for obvious reasons, and it'll be just the lighter ones up there anyways, and the ones that are like, you know, heavier, the really heavy ones won't be going up there too. But this turned out actually fairly well, and I'm considering possibly building another one. I'm considering building a small one to fit back in the back of the air compressor room for now. A temporary one. It'll be coming out of there when the air compressor, the big air compressor, gets in there. But for now, it'll be good as a shelf. Pretty much, I'm gonna go hunt me down some bolts, and we'll throw some bolts in that shelf, and then that's gonna be pretty much her. Of course, got her up in place here, ran a couple of screws in. Went down, got me some bolts. Unfortunately, they didn't have the size I needed. These ones here are about 1/4 inch or so, too big. I might end up cutting these shorter and then putting one of those fancy acorn nuts on the end of it, just to keep from scratching myself or something. But of course, I'm using carriage head bolts here, as you see there. If you were going to lay something on here, like some kind of covering, you may want to drill a little bit of a hole to sink the head down. What I'm doing is I'm just sucking it in flush enough that it starts to recess, but not deep enough that it actually starts to crush the wood. And if you do that, what happens is you start getting splintering, and then it creates a bigger mess. So you just take her down like that, so she's just, you know, I'm not covering it with anything. It is going to be pretty much what it says there. And there's not going to be really anything fancy at all about that. I might throw a coat of paint on here eventually, but for right now, raw wood is the color she's going to be. Of course, splitting this one down. And there you go. She's pretty much all done. And of course, that light fixture right there is just on a temporary tether. It will be shortened to a flush mount fixture. Putting doors on here may be an iffy because of that light being that close, but I'm sure I could work around it if the need be. So let's load this baby up and we'll see if she falls off the wall. Well guys, there you go. Got pretty much every power tool I own on her, and she hasn't fallen off the wall yet. I probably should put a brace in that top shelf because she is taking a bit of a bow. But other than that, she is pretty much, you know, there, pretty much good to go. I got everything up there, from my little Dremels to my electrical kits to a socket set up there, auto body kit. There's drills and framing nailers and reciprocating saws, jigsaws, grinders, sanders, you name her, she's almost up there. Of course, guys, this has been pretty much how I built my little cabinet or shelf for the tool room. So of course, for more on this project, tune into the tool room video series. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.